the truth about building a business on a budget. Does it take money to make money? And can you build business on a budget? And some people are like yes, some people are like no. And so I just really wanted to create a video to dispel a lot of the rumors. You're in luck because we're gonna get into it right now. Hey, CourtneyLSanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time online life and business coach, as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and do all the things. And I know so many people are trying to get into this business, which I highly recommend. Again, coaching has really changed my life, not just from a standpoint of my own personal development, but my ability to really be successful both on a personal and a financial level and build generational wealth for my children. And so it's because of that and so many people that are trying to get into this industry that I really want to talk about the truth about building a business on a budget, because that is a question that a lot of people ask, and it's this going argument, I guess, online, or you see memes. Does it take money to make money? And can you build business on a budget? And some people are like yes, some people are like no. And so I just really wanted to create a video to dispel a lot of the rumors and to tell the truth as I see it, based on my experience doing just that, right? Building my business from scratch when I didn't have a lot of money and what I understand now. So if you want to know the truth about building a business on a budget, you're in luck because we're gonna get into it right now. All right, the truth about building a business on a budget is that while you can certainly begin your business on a budget, it's actually difficult to build a business on a budget because it does require money. So it doesn't take money to get your first dollar, or it doesn't take money to make that initial money, but it does take money to keep making money. And this is a mindset that I wish more entrepreneurs had, because if they understood the amount of money that it's going to take to not just start the business, but to keep the business, afloat, and to make the business sustainable, where this is something that can not only fund their lifestyle and pay their bills, pay their mortgage, they can earn enough money to put money away for their retirement, to send their kids to college, and then also to pay for other people, right? To pay for staff and to pay for support. If they understood how much money it really took to sustain that business, or rather build that business versus beginning that business, then I think entrepreneurs would build their businesses differently. And so that's why I wanted to do this video. So often, many entrepreneurs, when they're just getting started, they're really focused on how they can quit their job, right? I just want to quit my job. And so they're building a business that's going to allow them to do that, but that ceiling is really low, right? That hurdle for quitting your job is actually not that hard. For most people, you need to be bringing in $5,000 a month or so for the average person in order to be able to, pay most of their expenses and to create a sustainable lifestyle for themselves. So if you focus on building a business that is making about $5,000 a month, even $10,000 a month, you'll find that the business that you have built might not be the type of business that's going to allow you to really grow it and sustain it going forward. Why is that? Well, because the things that you need to do in order to hit $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month oftentimes require a lot of your time, right? So I see this especially in the coaching industry, because coaches will often sell, their coaching via the package, and they'll sell them $150 coaching sessions. And so yeah, technically if you do the math, you can maybe make about $5,000 a month selling these $150 coaching sessions, but that price point is not really enough that's going to allow you to scale. So no, it doesn't take money to make money, but it does take a lot of money in order to keep making money. And that's why you want to be really mindful of how you choose to make money in the beginning. In fact, I always liken it to building a skyscraper versus, a really nice house. There's nothing wrong with building a really nice house, but a nice house, you can get that up in a year or less. Part of the reason why is because the foundation relative to a skyscraper is relatively shallow, right? They dig out the foundation, they put up the 4 walls, 1 story, 2 story, bada boom, bada bing, they're done. But if you want something that, is a skyscraper, something that is going to be really tall and have a lot going on, oftentimes it takes as long just to build the foundation and to dig the foundation out that it does to build, that 2-story house. And so it's important that entrepreneurs understand this, because many times, again, if you're not clear on the type of business that you're building, you can look at, your friends or your competitors or your peers and feel bad that their house is already above ground, and you feel like you're doing something wrong because you're investing a lot in that deep foundation. But understand that you are on the right path, because once that foundation is laid, it's going to allow you to build something that really is going to stand the test of time, and something that is going to withstand a lot more than, say, just that 2-story house is going to withstand. But again, it's gonna require a lot more in order to get there. So it's very important to understand that while you can begin your business on a budget, you actually can't build your business on a budget. You actually do need money, you do need resources in order to build that business long term. And so you wanna be mindful of how you are building your business model so that it is generating surplus cash so that you can invest in your business. So one of the key reasons why you need money to really build your business, right? Again, you don't need money to begin it, but you do need money to build it, is because of the cost to acquire a customer. And it's gonna cost you in one of two ways. It's gonna cost you in money, or it's gonna cost you in time. And over time, it'll cost you in both, and I'll explain by what I mean. So when you're first getting started, often it's not that hard to get your first customer because you have all the time in the world. I remember when I was kind of doing side jobs and little side hustles when I was in school, trying to pay my way, pay for rent. I used to live in Washington, D.C., and it was very expensive. Back in the day, I'm dating myself, I would just post on Craigslist, and I don't even know, is like Craigslist still a thing? I feel like Facebook Marketplace and all these other services have kind of kicked Craigslist to the curb. But back in the day, I actually used to sell vintage and used bikes, especially the first time gas prices went like through the roof. I got on this hustle where I would find these bikes at garage sales and I would fix them up and I would sell them to people who were looking to lessen their reliance on cars because gas prices were just out of control. And so I remember it didn't cost me any money to find a customer because I could just go on Craigslist, post a picture of the bikes and say like, hey, I'm selling this. But imagine if I were trying to turn that into a real business that again could pay my mortgage, could help me save for my kids' college fund, all of those things. I would have to invest in advertising. I would have to invest in a lot more marketing in order to attract the level and the number of clients that I would need in order to make that sustainable. And so this is where the cost to acquire a customer gets in and where people get it twisted, and all the people who are in the camp of, oh, it doesn't take money to make money. Right, initially it doesn't take money to make money, but if you want to keep making money, yes, it's going to take money, right? And so if I were, theoretically looking to go into this bike reselling business, yet I was selling bikes for relatively low ticket prices. I mean, I was excited because I was buying them for $30 and flipping them for $200, but even that margin wouldn't necessarily be enough for me to create something at scale. And so the cost to acquire a customer could be one, in time in the beginning, you just kind of, hitting the pavement or going on different websites and getting a customer here and there. But if you want consistent customers, that's gonna allow you to, again, really quit your job or do all these different investments in your personal life or in your business, you are gonna need some money to invest in advertising. You're gonna need some money to invest in your content. Everybody talks about how content is free. It's free for you, the consumer. It is not free for me, right? It costs me more to produce these videos than I make in AdSense, all right? So just my video editor alone, what I pay him does, my AdSense that I get does not even cover that, okay? So free content is actually very expensive. So even if you're using content instead of advertising to attract customers, it's still gonna cost you money. It's still gonna cost you in equipment and all these different things as you level up the quality of what you are offering in order to really make yourself stand out. But I said that over time, okay, first it costs time, then it costs money, then it costs money and time. What I mean by that is over time, you're gonna get so busy in your business, your time is gonna be worth so much in your business that it no longer makes sense for you to do these activities anymore, and you're gonna have to hire someone to do them for you. And so it's gonna cost their time because they're gonna need to do it, but their time isn't free. You're paying for their time, right? You're paying them, an hourly rate or a salary. And so this is what I'm saying. It does take money to build the business. It doesn't take money to start the business, to begin it, but it does take money to build the business, and not enough entrepreneurs are understanding that, and they're building these business models and they're coming up with these products initially that the price point is so low that they would have to sell so many of them in order to turn a profit that's really gonna allow them to grow their business, and they're not able to because in order to hit that volume, it would cost them so much to acquire that many customers that the math really just ain't mathing. All right, so what's the solution? If you are building your business on a budget, how do you overcome that limitation of initially, okay, maybe I start the business with a budget, but I wanna build it and I recognize that I'm gonna need more money. How do I handle that? What's the thing to do? Well, the first thing that you need to do is you need to focus on creating a premium product. I talk about this a lot, especially for solo entrepreneurs, especially for people who are just getting started, because if you are just getting started, you do not have investment dollars. You're not a publicly traded company. You're not a conglomerate, right? You're not Walmart, Target, Amazon. You're not a big corporation who can afford to have lower ticket things and sell them to the masses. So when you are just getting started, you you might be lucky if you're getting one client a week. And so if you're gonna get one client a week, it takes just as much energy to get a $500 client a week as it does to get a $5,000 client a week. And so I'm saying you need to dig within yourself and see what is something high value that you can offer, and then offer that to that person and make that money so that you have more margin to play with and that you can really grow your business. So you want to make sure that you are focusing on having a premium product. But in addition to having a premium product, what you also want to focus on that a lot of people do not is you want to have premier positioning. And so what I mean by that is it's not enough just to choose any niche. You really want to choose a niche that you can dominate. You want to choose a niche that you can be out front, that you can be number one. And I actually teach you how to do that inside of my Nail Your Niche Challenge. This is a 5-day live challenge that I do where again, it's live, and I personally walk you through the process of not only nailing your niche, but creating a niche that only you can compete in. And so if you're interested in that, I would click the link below while it's still available, because my team is already on me like, Courtney, you spend an entire week giving people all this information. You know, you don't have time for this anymore. Your time is getting to a level where we can't afford to continue to do the Nail Your Niche Challenge. So we're actually in the process of phasing it out, but as of this recording, it is still available. So I would go ahead and sign up while it's still available, because it's not going to be available forever. But in that challenge, I teach you how to do that. But I emphasize this idea of being premier in your positioning, right? Being out front, being the number one in your niche, because the number one can charge a lot more than the number two, right? The number one in any particular category rarely has to chase clients. You know, oftentimes they have clients lining up with them. And so I find that those two things combined, again, a premium product and premier positioning, really sets you apart. And yes, you can do this if you are just getting started in your business, but it really sets you apart so that you are getting that type of cash flow and earning the type of revenue that you need to be earning to really build out your business. So if any of this sounds interesting and you're like, ooh, I want to have premier positioning and I want to be able to sell a premium product, you're going to love my program, the Next Big Name Bootcamp. This is my signature program that walks you through the process of how I've been able to do this myself. And I literally don't hold anything back. I give it away because I understand that if you are operating in your particular niche and you are nailing it in your lane, no one can compete with you. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you can't wait for my next video, make sure that you are subscribed to my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show, on both iTunes and Spotify. And if you can't wait for my next podcast episode or my next YouTube video, make sure you're following me on Instagram. It's CourtneyLSanders on Instagram. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.